Okay, so up next we have another one of my teammates coming up, Colette. She is going to talk about the hottest 3 letters in agribusiness right now, CRM. You may have seen a few weeks ago we announced our CRM capabilities that are coming into market. So Colette is going to walk us through what some of those capabilities are. Welcome, Colette.
I've been reading books of old, the legends and the myths.
All right, if someone from Livewire wants to help me out, I am hooked up to HDMI, and I don't think we're displaying it. In the meantime, hi everyone. My name is Colette Bursey. I am a product manager here at Bushel. I've been with Bushel coming up on 5 years. I'm from a dairy farm in West Central Minnesota. And what I'm really excited about today is to show some updates that have come directly from customer feedback. So Alex introduced himself as one of his roles at Bushel is to help our current customers get their bang for their buck. My job is to find all of the gaps in the areas that Bushel still can provide additional value compared to where we're at today. So I get the fun opportunity to talk to you about what works in your product today and say, that's great. Okay, now let's talk about all of the things that we still need to continue building. And like the title of today's presentation is, we have heard the same 3 letters in many different ways over the last 6 to 12 months that I need better ways for my teams to work together internally, looking at the exact same customer. And so those 3 letters are CRM, Customer Relationship Management. And what we heard is, 1, I operate multiple locations, and I'm not always on the same page, checking in at the same office every day with my team members about the farmers that they're talking to. 2, I operate, like Jake said earlier, on multiple accounting systems. So even if we're in the same office, my sales agronomist is logging information in one ERP about the same farmer where I'm creating a contract for them for purchasing grain in another ERP. And what we want is a more holistic way to approach our customer. And then we can also identify areas of opportunity to grow our business with these customers. And so that's what I'm really excited to talk about today is functionality that is available for beta program testing right now. We already have a couple customers enrolled in it. And are we good to go yet with HDMI, or should I wait a little bit? Wait a little bit. Great. What? So we'll bring on Zach right out from Prairie Grain Partners first. Come on out, Zach. All right, so first off, Zach, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Prairie Grain Partners, and what do you do with them?
Yeah, Prairie Grain Partners is a co-op in western Minnesota. Recent acquisitions of a couple elevators in South Dakota. We were formed in 1997 between a joint venture with Triline Farmers Cooperative and ADM. Today we have 6 locations between ag retail and also grain that, like I said, stretch between South Dakota and Minnesota.
Great. And Zach, what do you specifically do at Prairie Grain Partners?
Yeah, I'm the grain manager. So recently came on board last July. Actually, it's been a year. My previous history with Prairie Grain is I started out of college in Clarkfield, Minnesota. Did a tour of duty through the ADM network between South Dakota, Minnesota, and North Dakota, and then recently came back to head up this little bit of a venture that we decided to take in South Dakota. So,
Great.
Yeah.
All right, so what is your past experience with the hottest 3 letters in ag right now, CRM?
Yeah, I tell you what, I've been on a whirlwind as it relates to the hottest 3 letters. At my previous employer, we went down a road to, again, integrate customer relations, right? The biggest thing that we struggled with was understanding that there's people all over the country. We're doing business all over the country and trying to figure out how to bring that all to one place. And really, honestly, there's one common thing with agriculture in general, and it's change, right? And so bringing new people on, replacing old roles is very difficult in this space. And understanding that transition happens, it's going to continue to happen, and understanding that there are still customer needs that need to be met as it relates to grain business, as it relates to ag retail. So whether you're running an ag retail facility or you're buying grain at multiple locations, the customer still needs to have the service that he wants. And so bringing that all into one space, one general purpose, one general spot that has the ability to not only see grain contracts, but to your point, see fertility contracts, see chemistry purchases, and trying to marry them together to make it all visible and easy to use for the person that's entering the data is one of the hardest things that I have yet to figure out. And I think that with the Bushel CRM tool, I think it's going to be extremely effective as it relates to trying to utilize the data that's provided. Agriculture has data to the nth degree, and it's how do we utilize it? How do we make it better? How do we make a better experience for the producer customer that we're all trying to service? Whether it's, again, from the grain origination side to the ag retail side, it's understanding what the customer wants, and with the CRM tool, it just makes it that much powerful.
Thank you. So what were some of your main considerations for your team when evaluating CRM? So you have experience with others in the market, and Bushel came on and said, hey, we're building CRM right now. What were some of the main considerations you were looking at?
Main consideration is easy. Nobody wants to enter information 14 times in 14 different spots. I'll be very blunt with you. I have experience with a lot of CRMs from the point to where you have to enter the farmer's name 3 different times on 3 different screens. What is the point in that? So the easeability of the transition between bringing data in from an Agris or from an AgVance or from whatever software solution choice that you guys use into one spot, and having your grain origination person or your agronomy retail person go in and look up John Smith and say, hey, John Smith purchased 100 tons of urea or sold 5,000 bushels of grain on the same day, okay? Did our folks even talk to each other? Did they know that that was happening, right? So understanding that in one spot, you can see everything that has happened through the history of that customer is extremely powerful, and that's why we're going to go down the road with the CRM tool.
Great. Now, what advice would you give to other Bushel customers or even just agribusinesses out in the industry, not even working with Bushel yet, that are just starting to explore CRM and go through that discovery process?
Whether you're a single location or whether you're a multiple location company, understanding that information is extremely powerful. There are tendencies and habits of every person in this room, whether you're a grain manager that sits at a desk and looks at screens all day, or whether you're a farmer that looks at a screen all day in a sprayer, or whatever the case is, there's tendencies with every person. So having the ability to see that said producer likes to buy fertilizer in August, or said producer likes to contract grain June, July, and August, or whatever the cases are, it makes it extremely powerful to have a very collective conversation with that producer and understand this is what he wants to do when he wants to do it, or she wants to do when she wants to do it. Mm-hmm. Moving a step further and having the ability to deal with transition. Nobody wants to deal with it. Nobody likes to deal with change, but it makes it that much easier to have someone come in, whether it's a new hire, whether it's someone that's been at a different location that moves to a different location, having that ability to just see that customer profile and have a better picture before you pick up the phone and have a conversation with that producer just makes it that much easier in a transitional phase, or that much easier to build the business as it relates to buying grain or selling fertilizer or whatever the case is, selling propane, whatever it is. It allows you to be that much more flexible when it comes time to transition or just building your business a little bit better.
Great. All right, we're going to wrap up for now. We'll let the screens figure themselves out later if we want for a demo. I promise I will be coming. So I have one further question for you. Who would you have in your buddy seat?
That's a great question. I mean, Jake mentioned it before. It's your producers, it's your customers, it's your family. It's a collective approach, and as we came up with a mission statement, just a few weeks ago. As it's partners in production is kind of a way we feel that our business looks at our customers and producers. So as a buddy seat, it's definitely going to be our producers as we ride along with them as we go through the growing seasons with them, as we go through family habits with them, as we go through just general transitions from dad to son or son to son or whatever the case is. That's who our partner, that's who our buddy seat is with.
Great. Well, thank you so much for
Yeah, you
joining
bet.
us today. We will also have the CRM set up at demo stations over the lunch hour, and you'll find me back on stage at some point here. Thank you, Zach.
You bet.
Morning. We are going to bring our dear Colette back on stage. She just likes being on stage so much. She likes it so much she had to do it twice. So she's going to come and do our CRM demo. So welcome back, Colette.
All right. Welcome back. Hope that was a great coffee break, and I left you even more energized to see some new functionality that we're really excited to release this summer. As I mentioned earlier, before the break, we've been building CRM for about the past few months here, directly in response from you, our customers, and from others in the industry that have really started giving all of the signals, right, that we need to be focusing on increasing effectiveness and efficiency within agribusiness teams just as much as what we've provided for you to have with the farmer. So what you're viewing today is in what we call production. This is live for what you already have today, and I really want to highlight this, that I'm a staff employee, I'm maybe a merchandiser or a sales agronomist or just somebody even working as a brand new member at the front desk of an agribusiness. And I work for Farmers Co. I can log into the agribusiness view of Bushel, and you can see here under admin tools, I have something called customer view. I want to emphasize that this is available for everybody today, every single Bushel customer. And we're actually migrating out of our old legacy portal for our agribusiness users, and all functionality will be moving over into this portal for one streamlined experience. So that's something we've also heard from customers. I hear you. I always have too many tabs open mentally, so I can understand why you want one less tab in your actual desktop as well. So I'm going to click on customer view, and I am a staff member. I've had a customer call, or they stopped in, and they wanted to quickly talk about a contract. And now I was just able to simply look up this customer by going into customer view. I can type in and search for a customer. And then what I have done here is now I can see everything that farmer can see in their customer portal. So if they have a question about a specific contract, I'll start searching here. All right. Of course, we're up to the demo gods now, where we're logged out. So thank you to Grant, by the way, an internal team member who lent me his laptop for adjusting the demo. So customer view is where I can come in and see that unique experience for all customers in that impersonation. What customer view will start to look like in a few months is going to go beyond impersonation and into the further CRM realm that we've been talking about so far today. So what that looks like now is I'll start searching for a customer. Maybe we need to escape out of full screen here. And the customer is going to be Colette Bursey. I hear she's a really great farmer. And then this is the page that I'm going to land on. So when I click on user view, I'll be able to go to that same impersonation experience you already have today. But instead, first, I'm getting a really nice contact profile for who Colette Bursey is as a customer. I'm able to come in, I will see any phone numbers that are in the ERP. I can see associated accounts here from the ERP that will be directly integrated. And then I can come in and edit demographic information. Zach highlighted something earlier, that ease of use and simplicity is what is most important in a CRM. We are going to continue focusing on that. White space is okay. We don't need to have every single detail down to the nth degree. You can do that in the impersonation view. You can find a contract from 2021. When you come to this overview page, which is mobile friendly from day one for all of your users, you will be able to see the most important pieces in a snapshot. Now, what you can't see behind the scenes is that Bushel has already integrated with your ERP. If you have our Bushel app, the customer portal on desktop, if we have already integrated with your ERP, you'll basically be able to say, hey, Bushel, turn on CRM. And the next day, we can turn on CRM, and all data from your ERP will be in here. I'm not having to create Colette Bursey. She was already an account in my ERP. She was already a customer. And so I'm able to bring in that information on day one. What I'm also going to highlight here is that we're going to bring in key data points. So delivery destinations, those will be contracted locations from the last 12 months. So let's say I'm a new originator, I'm taking on some customers for the first time, and Colette Bursey calls, and I really don't know who she sells into, what location. I can come in here, I haven't had to navigate to a separate screen, maybe I'm on the go on my mobile phone and I don't have access to my ERP. I can come in and see where Colette has delivered into for my company in the last 12 months. Same with invoice locations. This is where we start to get that cross-team collaboration. Even if I'm a really experienced merchandiser or originator, I might not know where Colette is going to pick up seed or which agronomist she's worked with recently who's selling FERT to her out of a specific location. Now I'm able to see invoice locations from the last 12 months straight from the ERP. I'm also able to come in here and edit crops. So I'm going to come in and edit, and I'm growing corn, and I just acquired some new land from my grandmother, and I'm really good at growing corn, actually. So I have 250 bushel yield this year. We automatically calculate total production. We track percent insured for grain marketing plans and understanding risk. We track storage, which will be searchable. So in the future, for your merchandisers who want to see which farmers have reported storage on site, which like an inventory of grain that you can buy, you're no longer calling up the same 10 customers that you typically have at the top of your mind. You're going to be able to search for customers who have told their originator, yeah, I have 20,000 bushels of corn that I still need to sell before this harvest. And then I can also come in and start to report what was their cost of production that they told me, what is their profitability goal. These are pieces of information that Bushel will have searchable, and as Jake talks about utilizing AI and skipping past the charts, skipping past exporting into a spreadsheet and trying to analyze from there, these are the building blocks within our CRM for faster, more intuitive insights for your team that ultimately lead to sales opportunities. All right, so I'm going to save this. The one other question that we've gotten is, all right, I have a call. I just talked to Colette Bursey. Of course, right off the bat, I'm going to be able to log a note. I'm brand new here. We just got set up yesterday with our Bushel CRM, so I haven't logged a note yet, but I absolutely can do that. And now what about when I have a new prospect? Maybe I'm driving around looking at Farm Market ID on my phone, or I'm even looking at OnX. And I know that this piece of land has some owner that maybe is somebody that I can sell inputs to or originate grain from, but they're not yet into my ERP. How can I do that? Well, we've accounted for that right away as well. You're able to create a new profile. So this guy really hasn't returned my calls yet, but Jake Jornstead is somebody that I'm really trying to track down. He might be a good customer. And so I save it, and I immediately have a profile here. When I first convert Jake to a customer and create an account in the ERP, as long as I have that phone number in the ERP and that same phone number on a prospect profile, all of that information will sync automatically. Yes? For first version that we're releasing this summer, no. We are currently exploring how farmers can go into settings in their Bushel experience and self-report information if they'd like. We also have this wonderful tool for the farmer called Bushel Farm. And so we're exploring and doing customer research now. Is actually one of the topics we explored yesterday at the advisory board with some of our customers. What pieces of information would you like to be permissioned by the farmer from Bushel Farm into this, so that I don't necessarily have to track down every single piece of information. We also know from our State of the Farm report that we did in the past year that farmers are more likely to report this type of information to their agronomist. Well, guess what? It's just as important to the originator or the merchandiser to understand what their estimated production is for the year so that I can start planning what I might have for origination this fall. So we're working on that, but right now it's just internal. You can edit and update, and then information will be flowing automatically from the ERP as well. Any other questions? All right. Oh, go ahead. Absolutely. So the very next step is so the question was, what type of contract maintenance are we going to include in the CRM in the future? So today, it's very view only for a lot of that information, right? I click user view, and then I go back into the view of shadowing Colette. In the future, thanks for the question, Allie, we're working on it this fall, where we're gonna be bringing more of that information right into the CRM. Exploring how you can take action directly within the CRM for things like I'm working with a customer to help make an offer, or I'm able to request a settlement on a contract for a farmer right within the CRM, for example. So that's definitely the path we're going down, where if I'm already looking up this customer, I want to be able to take action on that contract right within CRM. And same thing, I want to be able to generate a quote, or I want to be able to send a push notification that you have an invoice that is 60 days outstanding. So those types of actions are coming next for CRM. Any other questions? Okay. Yes, so the question was, do we foresee this being a one-stop shop of integration with more of the precision ag or agronomy side of things as well? So if a variable rate prescription is written by an agronomist or an actual activity is logged within my John Deere, is that something that would come into Bushel Farm as well? So there's two components to that we've already been anticipating. Number one, Bushel Farm does have equipment integrations. So your standard OEM integrations with my John Deere, Case, for example, farmers who use Bushel Farm can integrate machine activities and logs directly into Bushel Farm. So that is one thing we're exploring again, where a farmer can permission that machine activity to come into here's recent activity that you could see that of what they're doing on the farm right now. That could help for agronomists who know, all right now a farmer's out in the field, they're going and doing something because they logged it in Bushel Farm automatically. The other piece is some of the software, other pieces of software that agronomists are specifically using. We're actually having conversations right now with partners as we speak. So we're very open to exploring what are our customers, agronomists using. We want that feedback so that we can make sure to pursue the right opportunities. We're not here to rebuild precision ag, right? But we're here to make sure that we could put it all into one view within the CRM. Does that answer your question? Anything else about CRM? All right, I'll wrap up to keep us on track. Just note that I will be up in the mezzanine. If you have more questions, more ideas that you want to bounce off of me over the lunchtime, and I do just want to give a shout out. We have a whole crew of developers that are listening in from the Bushel office right now. CRM wouldn't have come together so quickly and so wonderfully without that awesome team that's actually still chugging away, making sure that it's ready for release this summer. So thank you again. They got a live demo going today, and I'll be in the mezzanine if you have any other questions.